Hey guys, so great to see you again. Welcome back to this week's episode of Closed by Mo. My name is Mohammed. I'm hopefully your favorite YouTube host in New York City for most things real estate. I'm also a real estate investor and a realtor based out of New York. Today we're going to be talking about something that's a little bit more of a sensitive topic because it involves, not being able to pay your mortgage payments, which does happen. I mean, good things happen to bad people all the time. That's exactly what happens before someone enters a short sale or goes into foreclosure, right? So today's topic, what we're going to be talking about is being underwater on your mortgage, what it is, what are some of the reasons for being underwater, and what options are available to you if you're in the unfortunate situation of being underwater on your mortgage. So without further ado, let's jump right into this. Now, I want to preface this by actually explaining what being underwater on your mortgage means. In a nutshell, it basically means that you owe more on the property than what it's actually worth, right? So let's say, for example, you buy a house for $300,000, that's your mortgage on the property, and the house is worth at $350,000, right? So you have a $300,000 mortgage on a $350,000 home. Let's say market conditions change and all of a sudden the house is now worth $250,000. Maybe, I don't know, something happened in that neighborhood and all the market prices have declined for the neighborhood, or a big employer moved out and property prices dropped because demand wasn't there anymore. Whatever happens, the market value of the property is now lower than the amount of the mortgage that you're holding on that property itself. So you basically owe more than the house is worth right now, and that's basically what it means to be underwater on your mortgage. Now, there's a couple of reasons for being underwater besides what I had just mentioned. It may also be that you've taken out or refinanced on the home a lot more than what the home value is worth. But effectively, it comes down to saying that you owe more on the house than what it's actually worth at that given time. So if you were to go and try to sell that house, let's say your house is worth $250,000 in the market, but you owe $300,000 on it, you're basically going to have to come up with that cash even after you were to sell that house, because all the proceeds that you would get from that sale wouldn't match the amount of money that you actually owed on the property itself. Now, the reason why it's a big problem is because what I just mentioned, right? If you're overpaying for a house way more than what you think the market value is, and at that point in time, the bank approves that loan or approves that appraisal, in a couple of years, if your market property or your property prices or your property's market value drops, excuse me there, bit of an aneurysm, but if if your property price drops after you've overpaid for it, you're automatically going to be underwater. It's not the end of the world, assuming you can keep making your mortgage payments and wait for the property price to catch up. But what happens if the property doesn't appreciate? What happens if in that area property prices never recover and market conditions force the property to stay at a particular value that's way lower than your the balances that you own on that particular property itself? Now, there's a few options that are available to a homeowner if you're looking to get out of a property that's underwater. One of the most common things to do is just do nothing, right? Keep paying your mortgage payments on time. You just sort of have to suck it up and don't look at the property prices itself or the market value of your property itself, because you're going to feel really stressed out. But if you're not having any issues with paying the mortgage payment and you have a stable job and your income is good and nothing else is being affected and you don't plan on selling your house, don't do anything. Just keep paying your mortgage payment on time. The second thing that you could possibly do is what we call a loan modification. So you'd reach out to the bank who currently holds your mortgage or is servicing your mortgage and say, hey, can I please look into possibly changing the terms of that mortgage note? Maybe it might be adding a couple of extra years to the end of that mortgage, or it might be restructuring the payment to where it actually makes sense for you to keep paying that mortgage payment. The third and final strategy in terms of getting out of like a house that's underwater is to negotiate with the bank directly in terms of doing a short sale. Now, usually negotiating a short sale is one of the last things you want to be able to do, because typically if you're asking yourself, hey, should I do a short sale, that's usually when you're in pre-foreclosure and you're struggling with making the monthly payments for your mortgage as is. In terms of a short sale, the bank will usually try and think it over as well, because at that point they're basically writing off the loss on their books and they're selling the property for below value, and it means that they're not going to come after you for that discrepancy in value amount. The negative side effects for you as, let's say, the homeowner is obviously you're not going to walk away with any kind of cash with that property because it is a short sale, meaning you owe more on it than you actually have the value of the property itself. So instead of you having to come up with the extra remaining cash, you just walk away with nothing, basically. Sometimes some buyers might be open to paying you a little bit of a relocation cost, because if they are getting the property at a discount in a short sale, then they'll kick in a few $1,000s extra for relocation costs for you. But those are basically the understanding of what it means to be underwater on your mortgage and what you can do to rectify or get out of that situation itself. I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching this. I know I enjoyed making it, because in real estate, it's not always the fun topics. There's also always the negative topics too that a lot of people don't seem to necessarily cover, but it does come with the territory as well, whether you're buying a house for you to live in or for you to invest in as well. It comes with the territory, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.